I'm Justin Hall. So I've had vitiligo roughly 25 years. I noticed my first two spots, they were about the size of a dime, and I had two spots on my elbow. And I was a senior in high school, and I had two scars on my elbow that the pigment just never came back. They stayed that way for almost 2 years. I developed loss of pigment on each index finger, and that prompted me to go to see a dermatologist. And from that point on, that's when I got the diagnosis around 21 that I was actually had vitiligo. I advocate for vitiligo, so I make those decisions based on my vitiligo. And I'm fortunate where nothing around my regular life is based on vitiligo. I say that because I know so many others are. Part of my advocacy journey is people approaching me or asking me. When it started about 10 years ago, I was in line at the grocery store and the cashier said, "Hey, my brother has vitiligo and he hasn't left his house in 3 years. Would you speak to him?" And so I'm acutely aware that there's lots of people where their daily lives surround their vitiligo. When you take skin disorders and break it down, vitiligans have the highest suicide rate. I think some of our clinicians don't realize what vitiligo patients are going through mentally, and the stress and living with their loss of identity. More than people asking for help, I get stopped by people that want to tell me how to treat it. Almost on a weekly basis. Someone says, "Hey, if you ate more carrots," or if you went to this small boutique downtown that does organic treatments, they have a cream that would clear that up in 5 days. So there's so many people that are getting bad advice and they've tried things that don't work. It's strange that going to a dermatologist is almost their last resort. So take into account how frustrated they are up to this point. As a doctor, maybe you're assuming you're their first resort, but they may have tried 10 different treatments before they've seen you as a doctor. And they're frustrated, they're sad, they're disappointed. And it's not just their skin they're treating. A lot of people are treating their identity, their look. If you were a very dark complected person and now you are missing half the pigment on your body, you look different. You look different to your family, you look different to strangers. You may be facing issues with your work. And so there's all kinds of other things that are going into it. I actually fully repigmented at one point. I had, lost pigment on my hands and face, and through that and phototherapy, I fully repigmented. But once I stopped that daily regimen, within a year, I had lost my pigment. I would say that I've probably lost 45 to 50% of my pigment now, but this is almost a 25-year journey, so that has influenced how I look at it. I'm open to JAK inhibitors and those things, but as of this point, I have chosen not to do that.